Yo, what's up everybody? It's Peace-I. Welcome to another video. So today I've got my 8th place deck profile. I went X1 at locals with Kashtira Diabellstar Spright, and it was really good all day. I had one draw and then I lost the final round. One of the matches my opponent didn't want to get recorded, so I posted a different matchup. So I got 3 matches on the channel for this specific variant. So 1 loss, 1 draw, and 1 win. So that's pretty funny. But I'll just go through the 60 card deck profile, and then you guys can, try and improve upon it. Honestly, a Fiendsmith engine would go really nice in here, but that engine's just crazy. Let's just get into the profile. So Kashtira engine, I went back up to increasing the Kashtira pile because these cards are just insanely broken and they give you so much. So 3 Unicorn, 3 Fenrir. I opted to play the Rise Heart and the Scareclaw Kashtira. Then I did play the 1 Theosis. It didn't come up at all day. I did search it once though. The Kashtira Birth, and then the 3 Pressured Planet. Mainly you want to get a bunch of level 7 bodies on board, and the Kashtira package really helps you do that like very easily, which can bridge you into your Spright package. And then with Birth, you have a lot of staying power, and they're going to have to eventually out the Birth, or they're going to continue to receive a bunch of disruptions every turn, which is nice. Some might argue for playing 2 Birth. I've played 2 Birth in previous lists in case they out the first one, but you really don't want to brick on it because if you draw Birth without anything else, then it's kind of really bad. I mean, if you do draw Birth with your next engine, the Diabellstar engine, you could just normal summon Diabellstar instead of sending, but at that point, it's not even worth it because you'd rather normal something else. So you got the 3 Black Witch and the 3 Wanted Sinful Spoils, and then your main deck target for the Sinful Spoils card is Sinful Spoils of Slumber Morian. This is a Book of Moon for special summoned monsters on either field. So yeah, you get to flip something face down, which is really good. It just gives you a level 7 body, and it adds a Book of Moon from your deck. And then once you use this, you can banish the Wanted from your graveyard to put this back and then draw another free card. So still a really strong engine, and I opted to play it as basically another level 7 so that you can overlay into your Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack. Check out the duels. I believe I did that a couple times on camera. Next up, the Spright engine. We have 3 Spright Blue, 3 Spright Jet, 1 Spright Red, and then 1 Spright Carrot. To go with those monsters, we also have the 3 Spright Starter, 1 Smashers in the main, and then 1 Spright Gamma Burst. I had a commenter, Dale, ask why I main the Spright Smashers and not the Double Cross. Double Cross is a trap card, so you can't use it right away, and if you draw it in your hand and your opponent stops you, and you could have used an extra card to push through the board, then that's really not good because you're not going to win every single die roll going in blind to a match. Whereas with Spright Smashers, you can usually always use this to out something that's problematic on your opponent's field. And if you do happen to draw it, or if you search it off of Jet, since you already have access to Starter, you can set it as a disruption as well, which is really strong. But it's better going first or second, whereas Double Cross is only really good going first. So that's why I opted to main deck this. And then never side out the Spright Gamma Burst. This is what allows you to close out games once you lock yourself into level 2s. Yeah, Spright Gamma Burst is like insane. Next up, to supplement the Spright engine, we do play the Nimble package. So 3 Nimble Beaver, 3 Nimble Angler. Nimble Angler is really great to pitch from your hand off of the Diabellstar and off of the Swap Frog. So we play 3 Swap Frog with that engine as well. And then the 1 Mirror Mage of the Ice Barriers, so that you can make Totally Awesome by searching your Freezing Chains of the Ice Barriers. This is another really good send off of Diabellstar. Yeah, I believe in one of the matches I started off with normal summon Swap Frog, dump this, add this, summon it back, make Toad, and then send this off with Diabellstar, which is really funny. And then you're basically 1 extender away from like the rest of your full Spright combo, protected by Toad, which is really nice. Next up, I did play a few hand traps. I played 3 Ash. I didn't play any Nibiru in the main deck because, or the side deck for that matter, because I didn't want to conflict with the heavy Kashtira package. So I opted to play Ash, Veiler, Droll, and Imperm. These are just the generic good ones. 12 hand traps in 60 is pretty good, but you have to also consider that for going second, we also have the 3 Pressured Planet and the 3 Fenrir as well, along with 3 enemy controller. This card's just crazy, dude. So they try and like use Detonator to pop one of your guys or even affect Veiler. You get to dodge it and then take control of one of their monsters. And if you're going first, you can set this and then take one of their key cards and then they're toast. They can't do anything. Really powerful. And then finally, spoilers for the extra deck, I do play the 1 Angel Statue as a Rune. So that was 60, really nice. I might want to include more hand traps, but I don't know what I would cut for them. Like you saw in the previous iteration of this deck profile, I tried the Adventure package, which was cool. I even tried Deep Sea Minstrel and the Tidal Dragon Ruler of the Waterfalls. Basically, this, since we play a bunch of waters that we wanted in Graveyard, including the Water Enchantress, this could just rip a card from your opponent's hand, and then with the Nimble Angler, you could special summon 2 Beavers from deck. This is a Foolish Burial for anything. So say you had like the Water Enchantress in your hand, you could send it to grave for free with this, and then dump the Nimble Angler, or vice versa. But I opted to cut that because it was not consistent enough for me, so that's why I took that out. Anyway, next up, let's just go through the extra deck. So for the Kashtira package, in case you get shifted, or you draw the Pressured Planet and you have the full combo, you can actually make this. I'll show the combo. I guess I'll show the combo in this video, where you can summon Shang as well. But sometimes you suffer from success, and this card's a little bit win more, but I'll show you what it can do. Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosack for the combo, really strong. 2 Gigantic Spright, you can't go any less than this. 1 Totally Awesome. We did opt to play the number 65 Gin Buster, which is really cool. You usually be able to summon this when you have your Jet and your Blue on field, and you don't need them to make your like link plays or anything. Like you already started off really strong, and then you're just going through the motions. Next up for links, we've got Spright Sprint, which is really cool. Your Link Spiders, which are really broken. You use them with the summoned off of the tokens from your Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosack to layer up into your G-Golem Crystal Heart. This is a lot of extra deck space investment, but it does let you easily climb into Sprint, and it also makes your Access Code Talker better. Spoilers. Silhouette Rabbit, obviously, for the Angel Statue. It's just a really good generic link, too, that can do so much for you. Even if you're 2 locked, you just put this on your end board, and it just really just 1v1 certain strategies. Like, it's really good against Pendulum. Shout out to Baby Brian. You know, it's just really good against certain strategies. IP and SP Little Knight, duh. Shout out to Team Bad Cards. Then you do have your Link Force. I played Access Code Talker, and then Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax. Like, they're not outing this card. This is so good. Like, this, have you guys read this card? This card's amazing. So I'll like end on Sprint IP with a Toad sitting next to it. And then sometimes like Spright Red, Spright Carrot, and then you're summoning Swap Frog during the standby phase. So what you could do is make an SP Little Knight here with your IP. But what I really like to do is, if they're trying to go battle phase, you make the Avermax. Since the Sprint and IP were both made from the extra deck, you get to make the Avermax. And then now your whole board is protected from battle. So it's a really great protection. They can't beat over your Toad. They can't beat over your Red or your Carrot, which is really strong. So that's why I opted to play this. And it came up several times. And this card is absolutely crazy. Like, read this card. All right, so that's the extra deck. And then side deck, shout out to Yugi and Kaiba tokens from the Megatins. 3 Lava Golem. So lots of times, because you play the Kashtira cards, you don't necessarily need your normal summon. In addition to that, outing 2 monsters, especially against like Ryziel, is like amazing. You just tribute over their board, and then they literally have nothing. Tribute over their Desiree, like, or their, what's it called? Their, DD Wave King High Caesar. Like, this just outs boards, and then you don't have to worry about it at all. It's, like, so amazing. Honestly, I want to play less than 60 so I can see this more, because whenever I sided this in, I didn't see it, but in theory, it's insane. Now, this was an interesting choice. It was either Pankratops or something like maybe like Phantasme or maybe Nib, but I figured Pankratops is really good since it's another level 7 body, and as long as your opponent controls more monsters than you, you can just put this on the board, and it's a level 7 body that applies a lot of pressure. You can go into battle phase, beat over something, and then still in the battle phase, you can tribute it off, main phase 2, summon a Fenrir, or you can start off with summon Fenrir, and then special summon this, and then make your rank 7 plays. Like, it just gives you an extra level 7 extender, and it's just a really powerful card in terms of being able to tribute itself off as that extra disruption at quick effect speed. I really like Pankratops, and the ban list just put it back at 3, so it made me look at it a little bit extra hard, and I ended up wanting to play it. So I put in the 3 Pankratops. Didn't come up once again. Forbidden Droplet, this card's just crazy. Not especially in this deck, though, unless you draw it with something broken, like Evenly Matched. But yeah, Forbidden Droplet is just really good at just invalidating your opponent's board. These should have been Forbidden Chalices, because what really stinks about this is that you can't afford to get rid of your hand sometimes. I can't remember if it was on camera. I think it was. It was against my Ryuji Voiceless Voice opponent. I was able to droplet his hold field, but then he had Ash for my Spright starter, and that actually just closed out the game. I couldn't push any further, but I needed to negate all 3 of his cards, in my mind at least. But I think I talked about that in that video, like right after it happens. But maybe this should be something else, because you need most of the cards in your hand. Maybe it should be Dark Rulers, honestly, because you're not trying to kill in time or anything. So maybe Dark Ruler is correct for this. But I mean, the times I did see Droplet, it did something. It's just, like, having to dedicate all those resources to sending the cards to graveyard is just not nearly as good. So, honestly, I think I just talked myself out of this. If you guys are going to copy this deck, don't play Droplet. You might want to even cut the main deck down from 60 and play something like Dark Ruler. Or, yeah, honestly, Dark Ruler, even Book of Eclipse would be good. But, like, you need something that doesn't take away cards from your hand, because you need most cards in your hand, except you're, like, Nimble Anglers. Like, sending a Nimble Angler off of your hand for this is, like, amazing, but that's not always going to happen since you play 60. Next up, a couple other targets for the Diabellstar. So, going second, this card, Sinful Spoils of Subversion, is really amazing. If your Diabellstar resolves, you get an extra level 7 body on board, and you get to set this, which really baits anything on your opponent's field. It can spell and trap any of their monsters, so it will demand a response, which is really broken. Yeah, so this is really good for going second. And then for going first, we also played the Silvera. I did use this in tournament because I was able to keep the Diabellstar on field, but it did not end up coming up because my opponent just scooped to the board. But yes, this is really nice for when you're going first. I don't main either of these because this is just primarily going second, primarily going first. The Sinful Spoils of Morian in the main deck is good all around because a Book of Moon is almost good going first or second at any time, even though you need to set it. Now, the reason I don't main Spright Double Cross is because in order for this to work, you need to control an Xyz monster or a Link 2 monster. And when you're pushing through a board, you're not always going to end on something. So you definitely want a combo extender. Shout out to Dale for the question. But yeah, that's why I main Spright Smashers instead of Double Cross. This is only good going first. Like, you do not want this in your main deck unless you're playing a control build that can really push. And even then, I wouldn't recommend it because going second, you're not always going to get the opportunity to make a board because this you can only use this if you have a board. I can't remember if it was in the match that wasn't recorded, but I was put into a scenario where I had the IP and the Sprint, which was my misplay. I should have overlaid with the Sprint to make the gigantic Spright, since I had the Double Cross and the Toad, but I was forced to use my Toad, and then my IP Masquerena was impermed when I tried to activate it on Resolution, which meant that my Double Cross was also dead, and eventually my opponent outed the Double Cross, and it was over. Like, all of my disruptions were canceled, because of my positioning. I lost the Toad, so I couldn't put anything under it, and my IP Masquerena was blocking my only link zone, which was the Sprind arrow pointing downward. So when you're setting this up, make sure you get rid of Sprind, because you don't need that. That's just win more at that point. You need something pointing downward. I might show that combo too, honestly. And then 3 evenly. Evenly just crazy. Like, so good. Like, I wish I could be playing less cards so I could see evenly Lava Golem more often. Because these cards are just hilarious. But yeah, that was the deck profile. This video is already 15 minutes long. But I promised I would show the combo. So I'll just show the really quick combo. And I might show the Spright Double Cross combo in a different video. So basically you need Pressured Planet and either Kashtira Unicorn or Fenrir. So what you're going to do is you're going to go... and this is assuming that you're not playing through like Droll and stuff. It's just showing you the resilience. So you're going to Pressured Planet, grab your Fenrir. Special your Unicorn. I actually usually summon in defense position. Unicorn effect, search out the Birth. Activate Birth, normal summon Fenrir. Fenrir effect. So most people would think that they would search Rise Heart, but you're definitely searching Scareclaw Kashtira. The really cool thing about the Diabellstar engine is if you have Diabellstar, you can actually ditch the Fenrir to summon the Diabellstar, activate this, and then use Birth to bring it back. But in this scenario, we're just doing bare bones 2 Kashtira monsters with the planet because that'll make your Shangri-Ira better. So from here, you actually go ahead and utilize that awesome extra deck that we have. Mecha Fanabee's Draco Sack. Go ahead and activate, summon your 2 tokens. Where did I put those 2 tokens? Oh, here they are. You go ahead and you make your Link Spider. You go ahead and make your second Link Spider. Then you make your Spright Sprind. Spright Sprind will go ahead and dump your Angler. Your Angler will go ahead and summon out 2 Beavers. Now, this is where you're going to be suffering from success, because you can actually make another rank 7. You're going to use Scareclaw Kashtira to banish your Fenrir, summon itself out, before you lock yourself into level 2, Link 2, rank 2s with your Gigantic Spright. Then you can use Birth to special out the Fenrir, and here's where you can put your Shangri-Ira. Your Shangri-Ira is going to be able to pop something with the Pressured Planet Raceloth when it uses its effect during standby phase, or when your opponent plays into your Fenrir that you're going to special summon during standby phase, or your Birth, since you control it. And this has a lot of staying power because it can be you can detach from it to prevent destruction, and then also you can detach from it to bounce something with Sprind if you choose to leave it on field. Next up, you can overlay for Nimble Beaver, and you can go a couple different routes with this. I'll show you both routes. The main route that I usually go for, and I will put this here, is to detach from the Gigantic Spright to summon out the Swap Frog. Swap Frog effect to dump the Mirror Mage of the Ice Barrier. Mirror Mage effect to add Freezing Chains. Freezing Chains effect to special summon. Then you overlay these 2 for your Totally Awesome. That's an extra negate. And then you link these 2 off for your IP Masquerena. During standby phase, you get to detach to summon out a Swap Frog as an extra body that you can link off with if you choose so, even though most of the time I like to go for Avermax to protect the board. And then you also get the Shangri-Ira effect to special summon out another copy of Kashtira Fenrir or Kashtira Unicorn if you feel that would be better. So this entire board was off of just Pressured Planet and either one of the Kashtira monsters. If you start off with just those 2 Kashtira monsters, you just don't have Planet. So that's just one less disruption. But this is the standard combo I like to go for. Now, I did say that I would go over the other scenario when you're at the Gigantic Spright position. So we're going to put these back. And then this was summoned out during standby phase. Going to put that back. And then IP is actually just going to be Gigantic Spright and the Mecha Fanabee's Draco Sack. So from here, you can actually go into your other cards, which are the Spright engine. So you can actually go into Spright Blue. Spright Blue, search Jet Effect. You could search Starter if you want to end on a carrot or a red. Or you could search Smashers if you think that you would rather banish a card that they control. But we're going to go for Spright Starter just to get that extra negation. We're going to overlay these two for the Djinn Buster, which is an extra monster negate. We can make that IP Masquerena here. Here. And then from here, we can actually go ahead and Spright Starter for either carrot or red. I like to go for carrot here, since we already have a monster negation, and spell and trap negations are really nice. And then still with this board, you end up with the Fenrir on board from your Shangri-Ira. So either way, like you're either getting a Toad, which gives you a little bit of follow-up, but it's a stronger negation. But when you go this route, you get a spell and trap negation and a monster negation and burn, and you still get the Fenrir. So that's the connection between the Kashtira and the Spright engine, and that's why you play, like you dedicate all of that extra deck space to the Link Spider and the... Oh my gosh, in the combo, did I really skip the G-Golem part? Oh my god, I'm sorry guys. So when you have your two Link Spiders, you make your G-Golem Crystal Heart, and that reborns the Link Spider, and then you go into Sprint. So my bad for skipping that stuff, but I'm sure you guys already caught on to that. I hope so. Hopefully people just didn't like click off the video because they were like, this guy's an idiot. I will make another combo video for that other combo. This video is already 20 minutes long, but I just wanted to show you guys that brief thing. If you guys are still watching at this point, because I already went through the deck profile. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and then subscribe for more. See you next time. Bye.